Hey, good morning, Raw. Oh, it was the guy I met from the N8 Innovative. How you doing?
Hey, Tylen, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Hey, I'm good.
How's
So
it?
I'm also curious to learn a little bit about this Claude stuff. I just downloaded my Claude desktop other day.
Oh, okay, okay. Are you in this specific challenge? I'm using Claude Code. Have you used Claude Code yet, or only just Claude
Tylen,
Desktop?
not at only just Claude desktop. I'm
Okay,
able to set up an MCP
okay,
and MCP for a SQL
okay.
command line
Uh-huh.
that can talk to my ERP system, and I'm
Hmm.
able to use the Claude agent to be able to give instructions to talk to my ERP database, to fetch the data, to insert data, and all those things. So I'm,
Okay.
I'm new to Claude.
All right, no problem. That's fine. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll
yeah.
go over just a recap of, like I said, all of these sessions are basically me. So in my space, I'm in a lot of places, basically, there are a lot of people who pay for Claude and use Claude
Hmm.
Desktop. They haven't used Claude Code. They see all these videos about using Claude Code. They still haven't used Claude Code. So all of these sessions are an invitation to walk people through downloading Claude Code so they can use it with many different tools. My goal is to have it be interactive. So for some people, they show up because they actually use the tool. Some people are thinking about using the tool and other things like that. This session
Right, right.
today, I am going to be using a platform called GoHighLevel. This one's not that interactive, mainly because most people might not have a GoHighLevel account, but just kind of once again showing an example of an
Sure.
idea that someone might have to
Yes.
use both of these two platforms to do things.
Yeah. In my
Uh,
Claude desktop, I have a Claude code option also.
mhm.
I see two tabs. At
Yeah.
my work, I'm going to be getting a Claude co-work also, a separate laptop.
Hmm.
I'm going to get a separate laptop just for the Claude purposes in which I can run some projects in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely I'm open to.
Any questions that you have, feel free to just there's a little react button down here where you can raise your hand, or you could just come
Uh-huh.
off mic and say something or put something in the chat. Any questions you have. If I'm
Sure.
going too fast, something that you're curious about, why does my Claude code look like this? Have you seen others look like that, and other things? I do try to be very descriptive and describe those things just in general.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate that, Thailand. So it
yeah,
was nice catching up with you,
yeah. Pleasure
in
meeting you
downtown
as well.
area. So you
Gotcha.
attend meetings like that quite often in the area?
Yeah, I go to events all the time.
All the times? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Where do you get invitation to these meetings? Where is it
Uh,
group kind of
you,
thing, for meetup kind of thing?
Not, there's a platform called Luma, like which I hosted this on, and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
you can see those events. Or sometimes, like I get emails, or like I see them in
Okay.
other places like Discord or something.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Got you. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started with this. I'm gonna share my screen, and the goal today is to basically use Claude Code, use
Mm-hmm.
a platform called GoHighLevel, which is basically an all-in-one marketing platform tool that does a plethora of things. But today, the focus is basically creating um, a internal tool where you can, so let me be specific in here to get some perspective, because if you don't use Go High Level, it might be kind of confusing why I'm giving this perspective. So Go High Level, we'll try to minimize it. Amazing platform. There are a lot of things inside that platform. And this idea actually comes from an actual client project that I'm working on right now that I'm going to show. So I have a client, he uses Go High Level. He's making his own platform that has to do with real estate, and inside of this platform, there's many things that go on, but he wants to have a social integration, meaning that he wants his users or the users want to post to, TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Now, Go High Level already has done the technical stuff where you can just click and sign in with whatever account you want. And I'll kind of show these things too. I'm just kind of explaining beforehand. So in theory, not in theory, but in reality, if you have a Go High Level account, instead of having your user log in and connect their social media to their sub account, to their social media profile to the sub account to post online to social media platforms, you can create another interface or another internal tool where they don't even have to log in GoHighLevel to do that. So like
Mm.
as an example, I'll share my screen. Uh-oh, close the wrong thing there. Didn't want to do that. And uh, let's go to my client's platform. This platform is called Broker Board, just to kind of show an example. And I'm already logged in, which is fine. So just to show an example, if I come here to the Success Hub and then I go to social media, and if I click on create post, right, this is connected to a GoHighLevel sub account. And I've already connected my social accounts, and these are like some of my client accounts that were already my client. There's like just a testing account that we're using for other things, but I'm also using this sub account to test the social media integration that I built into his application. So same thing, it's using high level. We're able to post content, able to add a media, able to schedule the content for later. Of course, because GoHighLevel already does this natively, just to give an idea. So that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to create our own internal tool, which just connects to the sub account so we can connect our social media account and then do a post there. And really quick before I start that, let me get a napkin to blow my nose.
Okay.
Any questions so far on that?
No, no.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't understand when you say, whenever you say sub account, is it a sub account in a cloud?
no, 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 no. So there's a platform called Go High Level, and it's basically like an agency platform. So basically, you have, give me one
Okay,
minute.
I didn't know about much about that. Yeah, okay, so this Go high level. I never heard about that.
Yeah, Go High Level has been a very popular platform for some amount of years now. But in general, it's a platform where, um, all in one marketing platform that if you want to sell to clients, you can do that and you have unlimited sub account. So just think of a sub account as a client. And depending on what type of agency or what type of work you do or however you use Go High Level, you're selling them something inside of here. So there is example. This is a testing account. And once again, Go High Level does a lot of things. So it's CRM, it has marketing, a plethora of things. We're just focusing on the social.
Sub level is like a SaaS product that you can subscribe to.
Yeah, so this is a SaaS company. It's a
Mhm.
SaaS white label company. That makes sense.
So what is it? So
So like
to understand. So if you use google.com, if you go and go high level, yeah, yeah. So that's what I want to see. So go high level is
it,
a company which has products, and the products are software products. These are all AI
so
powered
like
business operating system. Okay.
so you're familiar with HubSpot,
Yeah.
Calendly,
Which one?
Calendly,
Haven't heard about it, but not much.
any tool that schedules calendars or something like that. Cal.com.
I don't use those things. Yeah,
What do
but
you what do you what do you use? So let me ask, what do you use for your CRM?
in my, since I'm working in IT in a corporate, so we
Postgres?
don't go outside tools and start using those things. We use Microsoft Teams for everything.
So perfect example. Think of all of Microsoft Teams ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have like a CRM, they got Power Automate, they got all that stuff, email.
Yes, yes. Yeah, Power
Yeah.
Automate. Yeah.
That's kind of what Go High Level is. It's a
Got
all in
it.
one. So if you have a business, right? What do
Mm-hmm.
you need for your business, right? You need a CRM. You need the
Mm-hmm.
ability to automate workflows, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need the ability to send emails, right? You need the
Mm-hmm.
ability to you need a website. You need landing pages, right? You need funnels. You need all these things. That's what Go High Level is in
Got it.
the platform.
Got it. Okay. Now makes sense. Thank you.
Mhm. So if I specialize in marketing or I specialize in automations or it doesn't matter what it is, so many people use it for so many different things. I can pay them a price,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on what price I pay them, they will give me a certain amount of sub accounts.
Sub
right?
accounts. Okay. Okay. So they give
Right.
sub accounts. Okay.
That means that like they're just individual accounts that have all of the same software. I can turn it off. It could be individual settings. Like somebody could buy this here, and I could say, oh, they inside of their sub account they have AI. This person in their sub account they don't have AI.
Okay.
And basically, people sell that to businesses.
Okay.
So, like I said, inside of Go High Level, I believe probably, and I
So
have to
what is
look.
this flowspur.io?
This is
That is
my client's Go High Level account.
okay. So their high level account. Okay. Got it.
Right. And it's white labeled, so you're not going to see GoHighLevel up here. You're
Sure,
going to
sure,
see
sure. Yeah, yeah,
their
that makes
company
sense.
name. Right. So, because he has this branded a certain way, I always forget where certain things are. Right now, I'm looking for social media. I think it's attraction. I could be wrong. Is it here? I swear it's not here. I always forget because yeah, here it is, literally. All right, so they have something called a social planner where you can add, right, your account, and then you can come in here and make a post, schedule a post, and do all that, right? So inside of here, that's what this is, right? So this here is connected to this backend. So clients don't have to, his clients do not log in this here because he's building a separate app that connects both of them. I won't go to the whole story, but just giving kind of context and an example. So I'm going to be using a sub account from here, and then we're going to build basically a front end that connects to that. And the main reason why I'm kind of starting off with this example first, and I'll have workshops later of like doing this in a different way, is because the time and process, not that it takes a long time, but there still is time and process to be able to post those to a social platform is kind of time consuming. So I'll use Twitter just as a small example. Let's say you want to make an app. You say, hey, I want to integrate it so my customers can post to, Twitter, right? So we're going to go to Twitter developers and, oh my God, not Twitch. I'm doing the wrong thing because it's not called that anymore. So X developers. Instagram has one, Facebook has one, every social platform has one. And you basically come here and you have to make what's called an app. And now Twitter is a little different since Elon has acquired it because now you have to pay basically $5,000 to do that. So yeah, oh, and they just upgraded this because I never used to have to do this. So let's actually walk through this in real time. Right. So oh, maybe he changed it now to where you don't even get a free app. I could be wrong. Hold on, let's see. So this is something I made a long time ago. Um, an app already to be able to post to Twitter. And you still have to do this whether you want to use an automation platform or anything like that. And basically what I'm trying to elaborate is you have to go through this process. You might have to pay money depending on what platform it is. You might have to go through like whatever background check they do so you can have an official integration slash app that allows whatever you're building to post to social media platforms. So some platforms like High Level, because they already do all of that process, you can just, I'm not going to use the word cheat, but I guess shortcut is a better word and kind of do once again what I'm doing in this example. This is a separate app. Well, the app I was showing is a separate app that connects to the High Level API, which I'll show in a minute, that allows you to basically build integrations, kind of like what I'm talking about right here. So how do we do that? How do we get started? Um, Ro, feel free, like, once again, to ask questions if any of this is confusing. So I'm using Claude Code. When you're doing this vibe coding thing, you use what's called an IDE. There's many IDEs that you can use for these
Hmm.
sessions. I'm just choosing to use VS Code because it's very standard, it's very
Okay.
known, and it's free. You can use Cursor, you can use Windsurf, you can use anyone, and the process is it's still the same of what I'm going to do. But yeah, so just to rewind a little bit. On the first day of this workshop, I just had people use Claude Code and interact with files on their computer. And then we
Hmm.
kind of elevated to different sessions. So most of the people that have attended the workshop, and you can even, I'll send you the YouTube after this because all of these are uploaded to YouTube. You can
Hmm.
go to that first day and look at that and follow that if you want. And it basically just shows you really two important things is starting Claude Code, getting used to how it has access to your entire folder. And then as you use Claude Code, right? So, if, obviously your computer has folders, you're going to make a folder where basically all of your projects are going to be. So for my example, I have a folder called code. This folder can be anything you want it to be. It can be
Hmm.
projects, it could be goals, whatever. But this is basically where I work on anything, even if it's not AI related. This is just where I put all that stuff here. All right. So I'm going into that code folder and then I'm making another folder. And
Right.
this folder for this project is just going to be called Go High Level to Social. So you're going to make that folder. And now I'm only in this project in this folder. So I'm going to close some of this stuff. And you have two ways you can use Claude Code. You can, in whatever IDE code editor you're in, they're going to have a panel like this. They're going to have like a box right here that says extensions. And you can just type in Claude Code. You will see this pop up. And then in this corner right here on the right-hand side, you can
Hmm.
click on this and it will open up Claude Code for you to start using. Now, I don't do this. There's really no particular reason. It's really just all visual. I use just the regular terminal here.
Okay.
So I type in Claude. It's gonna start basically a new session. And yeah, now I probably won't. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Of course, if you see something, you can ask me a question. My Claude Code is I have some settings that I set in my Claude Code basically to work the way I want it to work. So like if you're familiar with like custom instructions, like in a GPT or your OpenAI account or something, you put certain instructions so it works a certain way. I have that done here. So sometimes my what's called plan mode or certain things might take a little longer, and it's just because I have a very structured way of just building things that I wanted to follow and check and other things like that, which I'll elaborate on here as well. And I'm also using a tool called WhisperFlow. So I'm going to be just talking and the text is going to appear, which is a very great tool if you've never heard of it, and I can show
What
you.
is it called?
It's called WhisperFlow.
That means it can listen to you.
It's just speech to text. So you just if you ever use the dictation tool, you just press the microphone, you speak, and a text appears. That's all it is, just so you um like don't have to keep typing. So yeah,
Okay.
I could share a link with you. Get a free month. Very simple tool. Um, but yeah. So I'm gonna first start off this project, and I'm gonna say I want to build a front end that connects to the GoHighLevel social media API, so I can build an internal tool where my clients can post to social media. And you can say a lot, you can say a little. I don't want to get into like different styles. I know people try to do like one-shot prompts and like all that. I personally don't believe in that, probably just because I'm a developer, but Claude Code is really just a simple tool that you can talk to. And using plan mode will uh, is very helpful to when you're doing things like that. So writing what I always express when doing stuff with Claude Code, it's gonna, even when it's not in plan mode, there's gonna be times where you're just looking at the screen. It's gonna be doing things. And you kind of want to use that time to like do other things. Some for I think for most people, like when it starts doing a lot of processes and you don't need to say yes or answer a question, they go get up, leave, do some stuff. What I like to do, depending on if I have another idea or I want to do research, which you can do with Claude, and this is the same thing if you are using the extension, you can just basically open up another terminal or another chat, start Claude. and start
Mm-hmm.
brainstorming on that idea. So let's just say for whatever reason, my main goal is to work on this social media part, but
Mm-hmm.
I do have ideas on, maybe I want the internal tool to be able to send text messages. I can start a whole nother conversation here and
Mm-hmm.
just go back and forth between these sessions. You can
Got it.
also right click if you're using a terminal and rename these sessions just so you don't get confused. I
Mm-hmm.
like to just give context because sometimes it's very rare throughout these sessions. We'll just have to look at this doing things if I don't have another idea or something to show. But while that's happening for this use case, we're going to go to the GoHighLevel API. So as building in general, whenever you're connecting stuff, you're just using API. I won't go into application programming interface, but basically it's how you connect things. And I think this the main and simplest problem with people using AI tools is kind of, I'll be honest, I think it's a little laziness. And I say that because I talk to a lot of people and I think the impression that most people have with the AI tools is like it's just supposed to know everything and do everything. And that's not the case just for many different reasons. So whenever you want to, you know, build something or use a tool, I'm just going to go back and forth to make sure I don't have to answer any questions. You should go look up
Mm.
the API. Now, of course, the AI can do that, which literally the AI is doing right now. I can literally see in the conversation it was searching the Go High Level API. But it's also good, I think, for anyone just to come here and start reading this, regardless of if you don't understand it, because it's literally
Mm-hmm.
all the information that you need. I mean, I'm also speaking because other people are going to see this
Right.
in context, Raul. So if I was looking for social media stuff, I'm going to come right here, and then we're going to be looking for social media. Up there we go, social planner. Then I can see we have a bunch of things here that we can, do. We can go pull accounts. We can get posts, create posts,
Mm-hmm.
get an account, delete an account. We can do basically the signing in process for Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. We can take advantage of scheduling posts in a CSV format um, and all those other things like that. So we're just going to do Facebook probably today, or Facebook and TikTok more than likely. I think I could do Twitter too. That one's easy just to do a post there. I'll probably just start off with Twitter and Facebook. But this is kind of what I'll be doing. And even the same thing here with starting. So it's asking me some questions. Which database do I want to use? We're just going to go with none for now. Or actually, I really don't want to use any database, but if necessary, we can just use Go High Level to put it back into storage.
Okay.
As far as related to images, anything else, I'm not really sure about sharing. So that we have our auth model. So Go High Level has two processes to connect. They have something called OAuth, and then they have, where you can just put your API key. I'm just gonna put um, single API key, and
Hey, tell that the font is so small. Is there any way to zoom in a little bit of that one, or is it on
I
my
don't.
side?
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I would not be sure how to fix that or make that
Okay, okay. Okay, no, no,
bigger.
never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's asking me what features do I want in the initial
Sure.
version, post creation, schedule a post, analytics. So we're just gonna go for the first two, then which model platform should support the UI, and we're gonna do Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Right, and mind you, this is all still in plan mode while it's uh, doing this right here. So. Oh, so sweet. I forgot about this. Yeah, they don't support Twitter anymore. Going back to what I said, a lot of companies don't want to pay $5,000 just to post, and it's more than that. That's just the starting price. So we can do. Let's do Facebook, LinkedIn. Go our level. Yep, ready to go. All right, so now it's designing the architecture, and just off experience, knowing this. Well, I'll wait actually to say that or show that because it might do it right by itself this time, but I'm not sure. I don't want to assume. And also so this is searching for some stuff. While this is going on, sometimes there's like commands that you can put. So just really quick too, while you're using Claude Code, if you press slash, I have to answer this. If you press slash, there's a plethora of commands that do many different things. Um, like make a conversation smaller so you can save context, even though that happens by itself. Configuring Claude Code settings itself, downloading plugins, downloading skills, a plethora of different uh, things that you can use right there. What was the reason why I said that? I think I just wanted to let you know that there were slash. Oh, I was letting you know that because when stuff is going on back here, you can do something
Something
control
else.
O,
Okay. Okay.
and you can actually see like what this agent or what Claude Code is thinking itself, just the difference from this text right here. And if you want to know like kind of what's really going on, right? So I can scroll back up and right, I answered the question. Then it told me Twitter was depreciated. Then I started thinking. Now I have all the MO, the information, right? The project, the database, auth, features, media. Right now it's like designing stuff and those what frameworks that I usually use, even though it would, just use whatever it felt like it wanted to use, which usually is good enough. But once again, I do have specific instructions in here. Going a little bit more into those specific instructions. Obviously, my background as a developer, so integrating platforms is something I know how to do very well. Right, I have instructions that you know prefer using official SDK over just making like random raw API calls for certain things, which is obviously just a preference whenever you're like, coding in general, because there's benefits to that. And then I can see this, doing more information on the exact pages that I was just on, trying to get more information about, the API, making sure that it's accurate and doing stuff like that to make that final plan. Oh, I didn't see Philip right there waiting in the room.
So Claude right now the
How you doing,
instructions.
Philip? Good, just catching you up today, Philip. I'm just showing an example of using Claude Code to connect to GoHighLevel to take advantage of the social integration that they already have with the platforms. So like as an example, just let some of that happen right there. As an example, like right now, I have a client that has a separate platform. They also use GoHighLevel. And literally in real time right now, I'm building out an integration where I just delegated it to some junior devs that we just hired. But we have a GoHighLevel integration here where basically his clients, this is like a platform for real estate. His clients can log into this separate platform, which is not GoHighLevel, even though they have a GoHighLevel sub account, and then connect to their social platform in order to post and schedule post and do things like that. So today's goal is to basically do the same thing, but not kind of have like a fully built out app like this, just like a front end with an internal tool that connects to a sub account. Obviously, you can like, uh, it's not much to make it to where it can do multiple sub accounts, but I'm just doing one sub account that I'm going to connect and then set up the actual integration to be a front end to catch you up and give you context. So right now, that's what this is doing here is just going through that plan before it starts building and stuff like that. So it's looking, and what's actually funny, what I can do just to also go into like building faster. So going back to this page here, right? On all these pages for documentation, you'll always see something about the SDK,
Mm-hmm.
right? And of course, you can give this documentation and do all that stuff. What I really find is just like way easier. So if I type in high level SDK, right, their GitHub is going to pop up. And I don't think this is the official. Yeah, that's not it. So let's do it better. Search GitHub, go level. You make sure no questions are still being asked here. And right, they have their API docs. They have all this stuff. All the stuff that they build obviously is open if you know about GitHub. Right. But what you can do is am I not seeing what I'm wanting to see here? I am looking for, I guess it'd be this one. Well, yeah, I guess it'd be this one. I thought it was a TypeScript, but my whole point is the documentation is great. Doing all this is great. But if you're able to come and just what's called clone a repo into your folder. So as an example, I just want to make sure no questions are being answered. So if I open my code folder again and I scroll down to go high level, we can see I have the high level docs and the high level SDK. So I literally have the source code, right? What go high level uses, right? To build applications or give to developers on my actual device. What does that mean? That means even though it's good at doing web search and stuff, I'm not going to say it right now, but I can say, hey, go look at my code folder at the actual SDK.
Mm.
So you can get all of the source code to see what to use
Got
and
it.
how to build. Now, and what I'll usually do is in this first part, let it do all this. And as I'm building later on, reference the code folder. But you can, start off with that or do it however you want. It's just a little bit more hardened because, like I said, I have instructions that already lean towards using SDKs and looking for it, even if I don't have it already downloaded. But of course, I work with GoHighLevel a lot. A lot of my clients use it, so I have the SDK already downloaded. So let's just look at some of the planning that it's still doing. Obviously, this is a lot of planning, right? But saves you a lot of time, right? So now it's talking about the API endpoint of what's needed in order to do stuff. So let's connect it, right? And to be a little bit more precise, it's probably not going to do it right now because I haven't put in the API keys of the sub account. It's going to test those. We're going to see if it does, but it should test those API keys before it even starts writing the code to know the order of how things are going to go on. Obviously, this is just many years of development, things that you kind of get used to setting up. So you just don't waste time and stuff like that. So still a lot of web searches. This is pulling in all of like the front end components from ShadCN. So obviously, this is like what majority of people use when they're building front ends. If you don't know about ShadCN, one of the main things I talk about when building all the time is not building from scratch, which is what I see over 90% of people do, probably 95, higher number. And then if you don't know what ShadCN is, they're literally components. Get this off my screen. um, that are used in front-end applications that are completely free, open source, and you can combine them and do all type of stuff and do things. So think of this like as a basic version, and then they have a registry or what's known as a directory where many other people also build on top of these free components with, things that I always click on this one, which is like not a bad example, but just usually not kind of what I'm looking for. What's the name of that platform? Oh, there we go. Let's do React Bits since they're like super popular. No, maybe I just need to type in bits. So let's go to React Bits and let me make sure I don't need to still making a plan. So as an example, same thing. This is all built on ShadCN, and these are components. Like if you want to build stuff, right, or do stuff, you can just come here. Let's start going to some. Oh yeah, he updated this crazy. Let's just do backgrounds, like as an example, right? You want like crazy backgrounds. You want to describe stuff, right? People spend all day trying to, build stuff like this. You don't have to, right? There are people who have been doing stuff like this for 20 years. We're going to do it faster. It's not to say you shouldn't take time or explore or do stuff, but I think we kind of get the concept here. There are components, foundations that you can use. You don't have to build from scratch uh,
Hmm.
in your process of development, which is what I do all the time as best as I can. So we're still in plan mode. So now,
Hey, Talon, I have a question.
go ahead.
With all the power of AI agents, is it possible, let's say sitting at home, you can control and interact with your cell phone, which is 1,000 miles away, using cell phone signal?
You mean to an AI agent?
Yeah, through an AI agent interacting with your phone, which you don't have your phone with your hand. The phone is sitting, let's say, in New York. I'm here in LA. I want to be able to make my phone do certain things, create a calendar, whatever it is. I want to do something through cell phone signal.
But what device would you have that would be sending
iPhone.
it back to your iPhone? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible. I don't have like the full answer right now, but there are many things. So like when ChatGPT, we're like 4 years, right, since AI
Mhm.
has been out. 6 months after that, there were already platforms that were kind of doing that. They're probably not known and stuff like that, but yeah. And I would even say now that things like OpenClaw, that's kind of like exactly what that is. You can have it do it on a phone. More than likely, it's going to be to a computer or a server. It's not going to be to your phone. But yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Mhm. So now agent has come up with a plan, right? Build internal tools where clients can compose and schedule social media posts with the GoHighLevel API, platforms, right? API reference, create post body shape, architecture, right? Telling me the IDs I need. Now, this is great because when I built the social integration for the client that I was just talking about, this is one, I didn't have a problem with it, but this is one thing that got missed was the user ID that you need to relate to a user to even do the post. But this is cool. It's built out a majority of the architecture, right? Dashboard, post, compose, build sequence. Now we have phases here. Now this is all going to get um, built. Now, the one thing that I always like to add as a little spice, you can also deploy a team of agents to individually build this and run in parallel.
Mm.
Right. So this is a feature you do have to turn on in Claude Code because right now it's in beta, but they do have some. So there's like, I know there's a lot of confusion on this because in the screen it looks the same. So like as an example right here, it says two agents finished. And then it has
Mm.
done and done, which means these were actual individual agents that were working on individual things. Whereas, and it might happen a little again. If it does, I'll make sure I highlight it. You can get an exact like outlook like this. Like it'll
Mm.
say agent and then have branches that looks like they're doing multiple things. But that's just
Mhm.
one agent doing multiple tasks, which are different than individual agents doing individual tasks at the same time.
Okay.
So now it's just going to literally start building. And what I like to do is just have this open because you'll start seeing files just pop up here and stuff. But yeah. And like I said, usually while it's starting to go through this process and build, depending on what it is or whatever the situation scenario, is kind of hard to like make one up because there's so many different things depending on what you're doing. But you can start a new chat and start brainstorming on something else or asking questions or doing certain things to like I think it's good to not just let like AI do everything and then come back. I feel like there's always something you can kind of like be working on while a build is going on, quote unquote. So now I'm just approving this plan. All right, so usually what it does is it's going to scaffold the project, basically just build the foundation and then deploy agents individually to go do those things that are required in the phases. Right. And then you can even see it's kind of descriptive. It's, agent A, agent B, right? Agent C, agent D.
Building a dashboard, what kind of software you can use it? I mean, what kind of HTML versus something else option, or is it picks by itself?
Ask me that one more time. I don't think I
Uh,
understood.
the front-end dashboards,
Hmm.
it's going to be building Claude AI agent.
Yeah, it's going to be using
The
Next.js, HTML, CSS,
standard
Tailwind.
ones. Okay. The standard software for building dashboards. Okay.
Yeah, what would be not standard? I'm curious
Uh,
myself.
I mean, if you have a preference between using a choice versus choice B, can you tell it in your interaction to Claude
Oh yeah,
agent?
yeah,
You can
yeah,
tell that. Okay.
yeah. Back to like what I was saying earlier, like and I could be wrong on this. Maybe when this gets posted on YouTube or somebody else sees me, they'll correct me. Next, ShadCN is
Uh-huh.
the standard for building front ends.
Okay.
Almost all the tech companies that you see, a plethora of platforms, are
Mm-hmm.
using ShadCN because you can use it with any framework. Doesn't matter if you have a Python backend, whatever. Of course, none of those don't have to do with each other. It's just a front end.
Front end.
But back to the original point, and I could be wrong, but I think this really applies because I've seen it in designers. I've seen it when I was in WordPress. No one built, most people who build a lot do not build from scratch, right? So obviously, before we got into just coding in general, there are always components, there are always things so you don't build from scratch. So let me use, I think, what
Yeah.
might be a clearer example. Everyone's familiar with what Superbase is, right?
No, no, I'm not. What is Superbase?
Got it. So Superbase is a database platform built
Okay.
on Postgres, right? So if you're familiar with Postgres,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
all Superbase is. That has a better UI. Why? Because most people cannot use Postgres in the regular front end, right? It's very hard for them to set up a plethora of things. So what Superbase did is build a nice wrapper, a nice UI around Postgres, where you can easily spin up a database to use, right? So what is the things that you literally normally have to build in
Mm-hmm.
general? For example, with a website, usually it might be a front page. If it's not a one pager, right? You probably have minimum 5 websites, right? Welcome page, home page, about page,
Mm-hmm.
pricing page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blog, maybe. These are things you have to build all the time. If you're building a, internal application or SaaS, what do you have to build all the time, right? A database, right? If you're really experienced, you're going to build an admin dashboard. Why? Because you want to manage everything, right? And see everything inside of your application. You don't want to have to come to Superbase or log into, your VPS to see things. That's really not practical, at least. I don't know. Maybe I could be being biased and speaking for myself, but most people who build a lot, they're not doing things like that, right? So my whole overall point is Superbase is a very known platform that people use. And as they use this, there's many things they have to build. They have to make sure Stripe is connected. They have to make sure, like, if they want to build internal platform that allows them to chat with people, right? There's a thing called real time, meaning that if you use an application and somebody else is using that application, you guys can both see each other at the same time using that application on the same screen. You can see that that person is logged in and you're logged in. I'm being a little really specific here, but I want to give super context. Even if you've never heard of Superbase, depending on what you do, even if you apply it to things that are not development, it's the same thing, right? If you're a designer, you got to wireframe, you got to do all these things. If you do that a lot, you're going to find some process to not start from scratch all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
back to, I'm connecting a lot of things here, right? So
Sure,
because
sure.
you asked me about the front end, ShadCN, which is a free component library to help you build a front end. And of course, the code is free, meaning anyone can build any type of a component to do anything, no matter what it is. So in terms of Superbase, when if I mainly use Superbase, so if someone comes to me and say, "Hey, I want an MVP for this," and I choose to use Superbase, or they ask, or want me to use Superbase, I use something called the Superbase UI library. What is that? These are components that help you build faster. Why? Because these are the same things that you're going to do every time, right? So I'm not going to come and vibe code an app and say, come make me a sign up page and come do this. I'm going to come here to the Superbase UI library, and then I'm just going to come here and copy this one command, and then I have that. It's already built. Why? Because it was pre-built. I don't need to start from scratch, right? If I want to have an application again that allows people to chat and talk with each other. I don't have to build that from scratch, right? I can just click on it. Once again, the whole entire point I'm trying to make is what is all of this built on here, right? This front end chat interface, these same ShadCN components.
Hmm.
Does that make a little bit more? It doesn't have to make
Yeah,
fully
yeah, yeah,
sense,
yeah,
but does that
yeah,
make a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
more
yeah.
sense? Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, in to answer that question fully, whatever framework, front end, UI even if you don't
Hmm.
customize your settings like how I have mine, you can just tell it to use it. If you don't, it's probably just going to default to using ShadCN or doing something custom.
Got it.
So this here asked me a question. I should have came back in here. It's still doing that. So now we're getting packages installed. And I'm actually going to close that because that's going to be a giant folder. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting a little bit. First, it needs to make the page and then start the dev server. And then I can actually start showing the front end and slowly going through like it being built out, unless it just
Yeah.
builds everything out as first. So actually, what I'll do is when you have the page built and you can start the server to at least show me something, even if it's not fully built, that would be great. So, and if this isn't obvious, while this is doing stuff, you can still talk to it and then put that command in there and then, you know, that to whatever it is that you put it in the front. I'm trying to think of any other extra things really quick. Yeah, and just to go back to like the design thing, like um I know there are a lot of people who use tools like anti-gravity. I recommend, well, I don't recommend, but well, yeah, I wouldn't say I recommend, but there's a platform called Aura.build. And the creator of this platform is a design expert. It's all he does. He's very known. I won't get into like those details and stuff. The reason why I recommend this platform is because they have something. This guy is like very specific because obviously like AI and designs is like a whole thing. Can AI make good designs? Da, 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 make amazing designs. And I hate to say it, it goes back to like knowing how to prompt and knowing how to do things. Obviously, if you're not a designer or have much experience with it, it's not going to be good. So he has this prompting guide where he kind of goes through that. Of course, you can copy this, make it your own document, give it to AI, or do whatever you want. It's just something that I put like as a resource for people to just see a different perspective when it comes to designing and stuff like that. Like I said, some people come here to this website, they build, and just to like show an example, like they, show websites here, they have templates, all this stuff. Now, this doesn't like build you a fully vibe coded platform. It just does like front end and pages. And wait, did more people join it? I wasn't showing. Oh, I didn't see Jamu right there. Sorry about that, Jay. So like, it just does front end and stuff like that. So obviously this is a very beautiful website, very nice design. And I think this is all HTML and CSS. This isn't, the ShadCN stuff I was talking about and all that. Not to say that like makes it any less better or anything, just to kind of answer your question more, because I think not that it was related to this, but it can flow into this. You can, you know, take a front end, build it somewhere like Aura or anti-gravity. It's just going to give you HTML, and then you can just come give this HTML to the AI, and it will use that entire design and aesthetic and
Hmm.
match it across as you continue to build.
Okay. Once Claude builds all this code base, um, officially to deploy into a production environment, do you take it to GitHub and GitHub will post it into eventually to your Azure production platform? Is that how the best practice?
Yeah, so I would say like because you said best practice, as far as like GitHub is the most known place where you would go to have your code live, right? And GitHub is just where it lives. It doesn't technically deploy from there. You would use a platform like Vercel or Netlify or AWS or Cloudflare then to have your app actually deployed and live somewhere. GitHub is just the link for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
deployment.
Right. Okay.
So this is now, it's basically built the foundation before it starts building out the APIs and stuff. It's installing all of those things you can see right here. And hopefully we'll be able to at least let me start the page and start the server. And then we can actually see like the page changing in real time and do things like that. Mainly because I don't want us to just be looking at the output of this right here and stuff like that. So now it's installing those components like I was saying. And actually what I might be able to do, even though it's probably gonna do it itself, is let's move this down. And I'm actually gonna open another terminal just because I want to see if I can start in the server already by myself. Which I can, which is a simple a command npm run dev, which you're probably gonna get familiar with the seeing, and that starts up the local host server for something to load. I'm not sure what's here yet. It's probably just a regular Next.js page before anything starts getting. But yeah, that's cool. We'll see this like slowly change over time and stuff like that. Let's come back. And then what's also cool about that now, Claude Code can, yes, run that command. It could have started the server. What's good about that is like when it does that, it keeps it as a background task, which basically um, allows it to read like what's going on that server to make it sound easy. And so obviously the server's open. We see like a whole grip of stuff happening, 404s, which is basically logs, which are really good, which is literally the equivalent to me being on this page, right clicking, pressing inspect, right, coming here to the console or coming here to the network. That's literally what's going on, which I'm emphasizing because a lot of people um, the best don't know how to troubleshoot, which nothing's wrong with that. If you've never done this, so you're not technical, you wouldn't know where to look and all those other things. And it's not only that the AI can do this for you, one of the biggest things that you should be doing is verifying and confirming. And if the AI is not actually connected to something using an API or an MCP, you shouldn't believe it. It's just you should not believe it, even if it is true. And I know that may sound crazy, doesn't make sense until you actually really start building or probably using AI. But
I,
if I
I,
was
I
kind
I didn't I didn't understand. What do you mean by don't believe the MCP connection?
yeah, so like if so I'll give my perspective, right? I'm a person who I don't take things at face value, right? If you told me, I'll use an example. Moltbot, right? OpenClaw, very popular, very viral. Most people don't know that um, it's actually not agents doing stuff, it's actually humans doing it, right? Most people would take that at face value. How would you not take that at face value? If I provided you a link, right? If I was able to verify my sort. That's kind of basically what I'm saying. If you
Mm-hmm.
just go to Claude,
Mm-hmm.
any large language model, and just, do this, and it gives you a response, let me be more specific. I'm not saying don't believe it. It should be verified.
Got
How you verify that can be many different ways. Maybe it does a web search. Maybe it's actually like what is the example you gave me earlier? It's actually connected to my database, right? So if I said, hey, how many clients did I get this week? And it wasn't connected to my database, I wouldn't believe it. Why? Because it's not connected to the source. There's no source. It's basically all I'm saying. So when it comes to people vibe coding and trying to build, trying to connect other platforms, probably because they're not familiar with APIs or how to go look at, logs and data going through when you go to that page, you should be looking to learning how to look where to verify that. So that
got
example I'm giving is right. This page, right, is just like a website. I can do the same thing if I go to Google. If I do anything, I right click, I press inspect, I can see what's going on, right? So if I go to the console log here and I close this and I click this button, that was a bad example because that was not actually supposed to be linked to something, but I will uh there's nothing here, but I'll show you. Like if I click on this or I do certain things, like it's gonna happen here, right? If I click a button and it makes an API call, that's gonna happen here, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally just basically
Mm-hmm.
saying you should know where to look to verify things.
No.
It doesn't matter how long it takes you. If you don't know, you can ask the AI, right? But yeah, that's just like the simplest way that I can kind of put it. So when you start a server, right, when you're vibe coding, it's going to start a server locally.
Hmm.
Because it's a server, it gets logs, right? It can see everything happening on that server. That's what that is here. I'm just showing the equivalent when I right click
Right, right,
on the
right, right.
screen.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So this is, yeah, all these agents are now building and waiting for different tasks. So if I open this, I'll just keep this open and keep some of these open just so we can see some of these grow. I don't think any new components will be there. And then I don't, yeah, so I tried to run the server. I already have the server running. Just going through some of these. Now what I can do is add my API keys. Now, of course, I'm going to say this every time and oversay it. You're going to see my API keys here. Don't show your API keys. You should not put your API keys in a chat for the AI to do something. You should have it create the file for you and then go put your API key there. And then it will be able to just read it from that file, which is entirely different. And yes, of course, I will be deleting my API keys that you see here. So I'm going to go back into my client's high level account, and this is not high level. Um, and then because we have literally like, I have to cheat. No, I don't have to cheat. So because this works a certain way and I don't want to do all these things, how can I disconnect the social platform? That's the question. Ah, ask and you shall receive. So delete, what is 30 dagar? Is that in Spanish or something? Mm. Right, so we're gonna delete some of these platforms I have, and we're
It
gonna
is.
go back through that process. So what I need from here first, well, first what I need is my user ID, which I can't just get from right there, but I'm gonna grab it from right here. I need my location ID, which I get from right here. And then I need my API key, which I will make a new one. Make this Claude Code challenge. Next, I'm just gonna select all, even though you don't need all, just need the social media, but I really don't feel like looking through it. Please let me create it. Thank you very much. Close that. Put that there. Save. Switch. Now I have my API keys, which is good. I don't need to worry about that. I can come back to the chat. This is still building. What page? Uh-oh. And I just messed up the whole interface. I did not mean to do that. Oh no, stop. What pages are these on? Is it gonna fix it? No, it's not. Okay, hold on. Why did that even happen? That's so weird. I see. It'll fix it after I do it correctly. What pages are these on? Fix after the next response. I'm pretty sure, literally, if I just do, that's not what I meant to do. Oh yeah, see, it already started updating itself. So dashboard, we have a compose page, which I'll probably get a 4 on 4. It's probably not built yet. Oh no, it is built. Okay, nice. Oh, and this is how I know. That's just how fast it is. Right, so let's just, I know I might be moving fast, so tell me to slow down if I am, right? This already started building a page, and then it's already asking me what to publish to because, and I know this because I built this here of that process, but it's already pulling if you saw the accounts here, right? So Money Briggs, Flowspur. I come back, Money Briggs, Flowspur. All right, so I already know I'm connected to the account, and I can assume a good amount of things are already working. Obviously, I'm not going to post from my client account. I'm going to post from mine, but I can even tell that it's working more because when I built this integration here, these were the pictures that I tested with. And it's pulling those from recent pictures, which I don't know. I believe actually, like when I say don't use a database, because we need a picture, two options right now, getting more technical into architecture. Clients might already have these photos stored in what's called a media storage that GoHighLevel provides, right? So they have a media storage. And then also too, depending on if they upload a file or whatever, there's like basically a certain process of how GoHighLevel treats something that's on a server or like basically a file that's a link or a file that's an actual file. So you have both of those things too. So because it's that, and because I don't want to clog up Supabase, which is the database that we use for that platform, because the pictures really have no relation to like anything else, and we're not like tracking pictures. And GoHighLevel also has an API for, I'm being very specific here. GoHighLevel also has an API for getting the stats, right? I really don't need to save any of that. So I can just put those photos back into GoHighLevel because I mean, basically they give you free storage for whatever account you pay for, terabytes of storage. Okay. Anyway, it's not like, not to say how it should be used, but yeah, just to give specifics. So come back here. Let's go back to the dashboard. Now I got little green things here because this is showing that it's connected. It's showing recent posts. Let's just see how this looks when I click that. So when I click that button, it comes here. I can click this just to see that's working. Da 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 da. My next question would be just thinking out loud first, and I'm gonna go through how kind of test that and stuff is like, how would I add a new, oh, and also to clarify what's cool is they have a post, they did a story, and they did a reel as well. Now it'd be very interesting, once again, just because I built this already, to see how it like navigates through picking those two. Can I pick the schedule later? I can with a date right here and all those other things. Okay, so it looks like a good majority of what should be here um, is here. Right? Really, it's now a matter of testing. For me, what I need to do is add my own account because that other information is not mine. And then basically this started this on a, so let me tell this. You can kill the port on 3001. I already had it running on 3000. That was my mistake. I actually need to put that in my settings. So once again, when you are vibe coding or when you do anything that basically requires a page being built, it's always going to run normally on localhost 3000 if you use Next.js. If you're using Byte, which like platforms like Level will use and stuff, it's going to be on port 8080. If there's like a process basically happening, and that page can't reload or whatever the case may be, it'll just start it up on another number of that same port. So just think about it like this. Like this server that I just started was having problems. And each time it had a problem or didn't close properly, whenever I want to use it again, it will just go to 3001 or 3002 or 3003 or 3004, 3005. Something that a lot of people kind of get caught up on and kind of don't understand how it works. So then I'll say, everything looks great, but right now I don't see another way to add a social media platform that I want. The accounts that are being pulled in right now are not mine, they are my clients, even though we share the same sub account. And I'm saying that in a specific way just because I don't want to get more I feel like if I say it a different way, it's going to get like more convoluted. And for the rest of this, I'm not going into plan mode, even though I would suggest that, just so we don't have like super long wait times for the plan mode. But obviously, as you can see with plan mode, you can get a very good amount done. So let's see what it's going to do. And that makes sense. Originally, this was scoped out of this. I didn't check for that, but now it's going to do some research and then it's going to add that. And I'm hoping I don't have to go into the Go High Level Marks app. Um, this other kind of a technical thing that you need to do in order to connect. I don't think I will, but let's just see after it finishes this. What's my server saying? I don't know why I have a blog, RSS, and all those other things, but okay. Let's let it do its research. And actually, okay, it hasn't actually, oh, sorry about that. It hasn't actually looked at anything yet. So, yeah, it really just did what I asked it, which is actually cool because like I said, in my settings, I'm kind of very rigid. Definitely don't have it build anything that don't do anything that basically wasn't in the scope of the request. And then until that request is finished, you need to clean up like dead code after it because what AI will do is like when you do something and you fix it and it has a change, it will leave basically like it will keep the changes that you made on top of the new changes that were supposed to remove the previous change. So then you just have dead code. You're going to get in something called technical debt, which you do not want to get into. And it's kind of like, is somebody else on? It's kind of like hard to know that, like what would be technical debt or any of that. But of course, you could just have AI go through that and let you know. How you doing, Hassan?
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Uh, right now, today's session is just me using Claude Code to connect to a platform called GoHighLevel to use its social media capabilities. Right now, so I'm kind of, you could say, vibe coding a front end to connect to a platform that allows users to post to social media easily. Because I explained earlier that the normal process of um, basically what's called creating an app for Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, any social platform, you have to go through a process. And using platforms like High Level, just as one example, you can bypass that process to post and schedule to social media because they've already done that work. So any questions that you have, just feel free to like raise your hand or you can come off.
So Thailand, I heard that most of the posts on social media these days are coming through bots. At least 50% of the social media content creation and posts comes through bots, not real human beings. So that
Mhm.
means they are using platforms like Go High Level and posting on behalf.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying they're not. I mean, kind of from personal experience, they're not going to use. You don't need Go High Level to do that. They would just go through the process that I mentioned earlier, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So, and I probably have to share my screen in order to. I think that's Hassan asking me, not rule. So, like any platform, it doesn't matter, right? If
Mhm.
they want to have a feature that says this person can post to Instagram or Facebook, they have to go through a process. It's called making an app. So I'm just using Twitter as an example. It's the same for every social platform, right? So
Mhm.
you would come here and they would, and this is really important to be specific, they would make what's called an app. Depending on that platform, and I'm showing Twitter for this one, you might have to pay in order to do that. So before Elon Musk had Twitter, many people could make an app and make different platforms to post to Twitter automatically, and it cost them nothing. Now, because Elon Musk, for whatever reason, I'm not saying this in a bad way, it doesn't work that more. I'm trying to go to the pricing because it was just there, then it went away. All right, so if you want to, oh, did he just change this again? I could be wrong, but before, it used to cost $5,000 to start off. Does it cost that with Facebook or Instagram? No. But the point I'm trying to make is in order to make anything that allows you to post to social media accounts without being logged in, you don't need high level for that. You would just
Mm.
come to the source itself of the platform to do that. And I'm not going into more context because that,
Yeah.
kind of what you're talking about is at a higher level and they're using code and other things to do that. But no, I wouldn't put high level in the same category and say people are going to spend $97, $297, $497 just to make bots to put
Mhm.
on social media, especially in a nefarious way.
Okay.
Because there are bot camps like in different countries. I'm not going to say the name because I
Mhm.
may get it wrong, and I don't want anyone to get political. Where they already have proven studies where teams of 10 people are using 100 phones to just post fake information. And to be even
Mhm.
more advanced, you probably don't need to do what I'm showing here. They probably have created their own way to do that. I'm just kind of showing the most common way that you would do it.
Right.
Are you trying to build a SaaS or just a solution for yourself?
I'm not building any SaaS or solution. This is just sessions showing how you would use Claude Code to do many different things.
Okay, got your point.
Yeah, so the whole point of this is just making a front end that connects to GoHighLevel, right? Which is already a multi-million dollar, billion-dollar SaaS platform, right? That already has a social media integration built in. So I don't have to do any of those things. Just to give context. If I wanted to, I can, but I'm giving the context that somebody might have an idea or somebody might have a GoHighLevel account, whatever the case may be. Now you can do this. Later on, like in another workshop, I will be showing an example of using a platform like Post-it, many different platforms where it's open source, meaning you can pay and they have a cloud version, or you can self-host it and put it on a server. But in order to do that, if you wanted to use all of these platforms to post to, you would have to go through this same developer process that I just showed you with every platform. Does that make sense? So if GoHighLevel had all of these platforms, you wouldn't have to go through that process. You just be able to connect. If you wanted to use a platform like Metricool, right? These are all the same thing. These are all social media platforms, right? I could use this. So back to your question. Hackers could be using a plethora of things. There's many different ways to do it. Are they spending money to different platforms to try to do it? No. They probably know how APIs work and they created some way to get past that. Or that maybe
Right.
there's a nefarious software that is, specifically made to make bots and do that we don't know about. I'm just trying to hone
Right.
in that GoHighLevel wouldn't be like the number one place where people would go to do that, or that's even how you do that.
Mhm. Okay.
So coming back here, we had recently told this about adding a new account because I want to add my account to test this. So it says, yeah, GoHighLevel has OAuth. Here's how it works. It says what I build. Would you want me to add this? I don't know why it's asking me when it should just built it, but that's fine. So now, sorry, I have something on my computer. Um, Now it's saying, hey, I'm going to build you a dedicated accounts page. And then those API routes, a disconnect button, and all that stuff. All right, so we will just wait for that to get added. Yeah, that's so funny. I think there's this thing if you don't know, whenever you're building, I probably built this like 3 times over, 3 times in general. It's so funny. Like sometimes the first time is fast, sometimes it's slow, second time is slow, or it might be fast. So it's like this kind of vice versa circle that goes on. But you always learn something new when we're doing that, which is like super great. And also too, I want to go Hassan, if you don't mind me asking you, I know you just came late, but I actually don't have a question. It's more of like a comment to what you said.
Yes,
And
sure. Tell me.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say like having the idea that everything needs to be a SaaS or start off as a SaaS, I don't think is like a good idea. That might not be you. I'm saying that because this is going to be recorded and other people watch this.
Okay,
But I know that when people think of vibe coding, they think that everyone or, they think in a SaaS mentality because I don't want to make it seem bad, which is that's not wrong, but I just don't think that for a majority of people, even including me, someone who's been a developer for 16 years, just starts off with a SaaS, right? You have an MVP, you got a beta phase, which eventually goes to a SaaS, and that's even if you have a SaaS. But to be honest, most people don't need a SaaS. And to speak from more experience, most of the people that I'm building for right now are building internal tools for their business. They're not trying to
okay,
build a SaaS. I think most people that are just getting into the space of AI and automations are thinking more on the I want to build a SaaS or I can build a SaaS because of bad experiences they've had with other platforms, or maybe they just have, ideas, whether they're good or bad, to do that. But that's just something I wanted to hone on because the whole point of these 30 days, it's I later on, like towards like the next week, I think I am going to be building like micro SaaS. I guess you could say that in a way where it's meant to be sold to other people, has multi-tenant. But this is more just like using it for a plethora of using Claude Code for a bunch of different things, if that makes sense.
okay. Actually, it makes sense because shipping code now is much easier and cheaper for people. So why agencies have to go and to subscribe into a new SaaS? Meanwhile, they can build their own tools and hire someone to do that. And
Yeah,
actually, that's
yeah.
what I'm seeing now. Like, I'm meeting with a lot of agents. They are requesting to have their own AI tools backed by N8N and things like this.
Hmm. Got you. Were you at the N8N event too, Hassan?
Which one?
Oh no, I was just uh curious because I know the other gentleman here. I was at an N8N event the other day,
Uh,
and met people. So when you said that, I don't know where you like saw the link at or joined.
I found the link from the school community. It's called Vibe Coding
Oh yeah, yeah,
Community.
Steven's
Yeah,
community. Yeah. Got you. Okay. Well, pleasure to meet you if I haven't met you when I was doing the vibe coding calls there.
yeah. This is the first time I meet you. It's nice to
Got
meet you.
you. Okay.
I always check your post there, and I see a lot of value. Like you put a lot of value there.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So this plan has finished, and then it's saying what it's added. So let's come back here, and then where are we? Oh, well, first off, let's do a hard refresh. And I see compose. I see this. It said it was going to add I believe it said accounts. Yeah, it is accounts. So first off, the accounts is not in the sidebar. That's one. But even if it's not in the sidebar, just really quick, you can do accounts or accounts. Oh, is this page not found either? Oh, maybe it needs to have a
I,
special
I think you said
slugger.
3001, right? Port?
No, I changed it. I told it to go back and
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
yeah. And then it's confirming that it didn't create an account page. I think it was just
Okay.
it didn't make one. But you are correct paying attention with doing that. That's good eyes. Some people literally get stuck on that. Like and how you would know that like that was the case, this server wouldn't be running. Like it would like you go to a website and it just doesn't fail. Like it fails, it does that white screen. That's how your server would be basically. And you would know like, oh, this number right here is wrong, and then I change
Right.
it to 3001 or something like that. So now it made a dedicated accounts page, which I'm what it did. Okay, and they put it on here too, which is cool. So I think just like as an easiest one will be easy and how we check this work. So clicking on this here, this failed, which is fine. But going back to kind of what I was saying earlier, if I click this, because mind you, this is a server, and everything I'm doing on there should be happening. So for some reason, I can see the API call for no, it's right here actually. So I got a 422, right? I tried to click on Instagram and then it failed, right? going back to how you would like people would be like, oh, this isn't working. How do I do that? Right? Just once again showing different ways. So if I click on once again this again, oh, I don't think this counts as something that happens on the network because it's a different page popping up. So that makes sense. So, okay, never mind. Can't do that one. But what we would do, hold on, refresh this again. Click on this one last time. Come grab this error, copy. And I'm pretty sure this is happening because there's something I forgot to factor in that I might need to add that I don't want to add, but it's necessary for GoHighLevel. So I'm just going to paste that right there and then start doing this. So usually what GoHighLevel is doing for their ecosystem, and it's not bad, they've been doing this for a while, is you have something called a marketplace app, which basically is the process of integrating stuff. I do not want to get into the long story because it is kind of confusing, but I think my OAuth is failing because I need to sign in to the marketplace app that's connected to that. I could be wrong, but just in case, I'm going to do that here. Then, yeah, I got to get all of this stuff. I could be wrong, but it's better late than never. Get off my screen. And then you gotta put that to my client account. And I think it would be this one, just in case, just to fast forward. Now, I'm kind of skipping a lot of things just because, once again, this is live. Other people that are using GoHighLevel are for sure going to see this and probably for sure at this time are familiar with the marketplace. I've already done this process of creating an app. And just for this, because it isn't crazy, I believe, and they just every platform is changing their interface now. I believe, yeah, I just had my off here, and then I have my callback. I might not need that, but just in case if you have problems doing off stuff and everything, it's gonna leave back there. So, okay. I could be wrong. It said it just needed my IDs, but that's just developer PTSD. So let's connect. Oh no, this is stuck. Oh no, there we go. Work, load it, right? So now we see it logging me in. I'm already logged in Facebook. I'm just gonna click this page right here. Yeah, because that's the easy page I can go to. I don't know why it's always trying to connect to that one, but let's just add it to that. I guess. All right, then save. Got it. So this token is not authorized for this Go. So, and that's going back to what I said. I know what that means. I just don't know where that's coming from because the token that I made should have every scope, literally. So it does. So this will be the first place, and I'm trying to make sure I explain how I debug or try to do problems before going to the AI just because I kind of know where it's at. Of course, you can do these in relevance, but because I connected this with an API, I didn't do the OAuth process. There's a social media scope or something here. But I've added every scope, so I don't know why it's telling me that or giving me that error. So the next thing you would really do is rotate this key and do it again. But let's just, for the sake of walking through this, see. So it says it needs OAuth. See, right? The same, literally the same thing. interesting. I hope this doesn't ruin the rest of what I want to do because something else is happening here and I'm not sure what it is. But let's just do the two simple things that I would do in this case. I would come back here, do select all, and then because sometimes you know what I will say that I noticed it, and I don't want to say I shouldn't have done that because all of those should work because there probably is a scenario where somebody's using all of these to take advantage of them, like I would be. But let's just come here and literally just copy what it says we need. And then you can just so that's not so and I'm also showing you this too because you remember Raul what I was saying like you shouldn't believe the AI of what it says. See how it's like giving me something that's not here. Now, of course, I can go test this in real time and verify it, but that's kind of what I mean. There's different things that you want to do with the AI that you're verifying. Now, of course, I could have asked this where did it get that information from? I don't remember all of the scopes by heart. I know some of them are right, or what might be happening is right. So now I can't just cheat and do this. And I don't know if because and that couldn't have been wrong. I'm just giving perspective. Maybe it was, missing like the format because I was copying and pasting it, was adding a white space or doing something really weird. If I type in social again, those would be everything, right? Social, social. All right, those should be every social one. Let's update that again. It's the same token. And that actually literally happens in real time because an API key is just being pulled here. So we should be able to refresh. And then let's try it again. And we know it's at least working because literally the whole OAuth process is happening. If this wasn't working, this screen wouldn't even be popping up for me to log in. Right? And it keeps saying this token. Oh, you know what it is? Oh man. I'm probably not gonna be able to do it because it's gonna take too long, I think. Let me see. Actually, I should get that network error at the end, right? Yeah. Taking the sorry, I'm being so quiet. I'm literally just trying to troubleshoot and debug in my head right now and put that into words. And granted, all of this right here is the same stuff right here in Node. You can come take this and do the same thing. It's just a habit that I was already um, right there, and I will actually come take these and put that right there. Because for right now, I'm kind of perplexed. The only thing I can think of, so going back to this marketplace thing here, because this is actually really important. Um, they Man, so many things to think about because I don't think GoHighLevel changed it. But long story short, let me make sure so I don't get distracted. More than likely, you usually, when you're doing more advanced things, are going to make a GoHighLevel app to connect to do certain things, just to leave it at that base. I chose to use the API key. Now, what happened with GoHighLevel, long story short, they had a version one of their API, which had no OAuth and they depreciated that API. They're on version two. And there's only two ways to use that version two API. You come in, you connect to the marketplace app, and to do things, or you go into the sub account and then make an ID like this, which is the V2 API, which is why it says API V2 there. I just am curious on, and that's the only scope I could think that it's talking about, but okay, so we got to do the one last thing this is the only thing that I can literally think of because I don't understand. So I'm get a new token. I'll be really sad if what that is because to my understanding that would not have affected this and I would have done this a different way. So let's refresh this. Let's connect Facebook again. Yeah, I am not gonna get past. Oh man, that is irritating. Let me really try to think right here. There's no other. It can't be this. And it says, let's go back. Oh man, I am very now I have to do some more research on this in general because yeah, that can't be the only way, the way I did it for my client. Create social. Yeah, that one's gonna throw me for a loop because I am. So let me try to troubleshoot a different way then really quick. How I would do that in this case, even though I know I can't get to that full end result, but I'm gonna do some shortcuts really quick and try to piece them together if you guys have questions. So first thing I'm gonna do is add it from GoHighLevel because this would help me. Is it the OAuth process I don't have the scope to, which is very weird, which would then help me understand that it's happening from a marketplace side, I think, or I need the marketplace side. So if this doesn't load, which it does, right? So now compose. So let's say now I want to do a post and I could have sworn I had a picture on here called professional Thailand. What is this a picture of? You, that might make sense. Wait, maybe it's being delayed. Okay, no, let's try something else. Maybe it wasn't being strict with what I needed to upload. Okay, something's definitely happening there. When I upload a photo, it just spins and nothing happens. I don't think it's being properly saved. So let it fix that. And then I'm just going to make a post. And then it should allow me to post here. Just a post. I like to name everything Testy Westy. Let's just let this finish. And let me actually just pull all of this back up. Oh, no questions or anything, right? I was going to say something. Got you. All right, so let it oh, okay, let it do that, but I could have just tested something and went to the media stores to see something happening. Okay, no, nothing new was there. Okay. Oh no, they're not letting me do. anything with this token for some reason. So all of a sudden now, wow. And that's, yeah, I don't know why I would be doing that with the fresh API token I just made. I want to actually see the rest of that error. Oh, it doesn't even let me see it? Oh, no. I I played myself trying to fix the other problem. Jesus. Uh, damn. And that was back to the original reason why I turned on all of the scopes because I didn't want to have to go through a very big back and forth. What can I just type in? Media, media. All right. Let's update. Unless this properly saw that all that was correct. And it, yeah, okay, making sure. Nice. So, oh, you know what? No, 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 that can't be it. So let's do a hard refresh again. Let's put a picture in. Yeah, this thing is not liking me for some reason, and I'm really perplexed on why that is. I, yeah, I can't do that because that's already playing with stuff in production. If I rotate that, and I will break like 10 things. Yeah, guys, this is actually, I don't want to say awkward, but this is random. I don't know why it would be giving me this. Let's just one more. Do one more. Because right now, from a super developer experience, and so I'm seeing this OAuth thing, and I swear I think it's taking me back to that marketplace thing. But I've done everything so far that I would have normally done to try to debug this process. We've made a new key twice. We rotated that key. We have, oh, you know what, actually? Restart the dev server. Now, that usually never is a problem. I've never had that problem because usually when you make changes and do things, it like does a hot reload. It like reloads by itself all the time. But there may be cases where you have variables here and they're not being picked up because the server needed to be restarted. And it still has cache data of like old stuff, of maybe the old API key for whatever reason or something like that. So sometimes that's it. It's not all the time. That's I can't really think of many reasons why I would keep getting that. And then there's also actually, this is a really good time to say, and this is rare. If clients always laugh when I tell them this, especially from the perspective of being non-technical and not knowing things because you don't know stuff until you know it. There's a lot, and this is why I gave the comment earlier. If you were in here in the beginning, like you have to have some source of verification when the AI responds to you with something, because oh, don't let me lose my train of thought thinking about that. Because it might not be a you problem or an AI problem. This could be a problem with high level. No idea, but I I just want you to put that in a pen as you're using these tools. Sometimes you might run into something that's literally not working and it has nothing to do with you. So in cases, what I would do with that is, do some web searches, do some internet searches that can see if anybody else is talking about um, this same problem that I'm having. And normally, to be honest, you'll find it, or you'll find an issue. There'll be like some GitHub open or something like that, because normally that's how those things, or a forum, depending on the platform, if it doesn't have to do with code, to fix that. So definitely keep that in mind. So we're gonna hard refresh this one more time. We're gonna hope for the best. I don't think it's gonna work though, but yep, nope. Yeah, that one's interesting. I'm not sure why that's happening, and I think I'm stuck right now. And it's not that I wouldn't mind walking through how to debug and do that. I just know for sure it's gonna at least take like way longer than I wanted to do that. Yeah, so I'll keep getting that. So yeah, so not let me end it there. What that? Oh, I can't even show you what that would look like. Oh no, no, I can because I logged back into that account. So if I come back here, then I go to create a post. I do need to hard refresh this though, because this is picking up stuff that's not there. Social media integration, create post. So now this is refreshed. It just has this, my page. Let's go to media. Uh, I really don't know what any of these pictures are. Like a logo. Yeah, that's cool. Do I need to type something? I do. Testy, Westy, post. Oh, well, back to what I said at the beginning of this call. I did build this out. I think did I erase my user ID thing? Or maybe the guy's actually working on it and it's been changed. This actually did work, but for my client, we just hired like two junior engineers, and I'm like teaching them to use Claude Code and do stuff because he wants my time focused more on other things. So their task is to actually finish out this here, which requires updating all the user IDs of all the people that pay for this software right now, because this is like a live. I mean, it's still like in the MVP stages, but like my client does have clients using this already, real estate brokerages to be exact, and their teams and stuff like that. So that might be getting changed right now, which is why mine is not working, even though I'm an admin, but they probably have access to my stuff because my client added them. So that makes me kind of sad. I was not able to show that at the end. And of course, I don't want to post to my client stuff, even though I can easily erase it. But once again, and the whole point of these were like, hopefully this doesn't sound too bad. Always get everything accomplished, but to just show using the tool hands-on to play around with other tools that you may use or have ideas for different things. And especially when it comes to like the vibe coding part, doing some stuff there, even though some of these things may not be related to vibe coding at all. Anybody have any questions so far on that today? No, be all good? Nothing?
Can I ask you about GHL?
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
What you are trying to build now is like to build something, an app that connects to GHL that will let you connect your social media accounts through GHL, right?
Yeah, you can say that. So I'm not
Okay.
trying to build that, but that was just the example for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can like I have access to GHL, but it's not. I'm not paying subscription. It's I think it's white labeled for someone else. Can I do this also?
Mm, let me just think real quick.
Like
So,
I don't
so,
pay the
so
subscription. I just have GHL account for
yeah,
free.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yes, you can. In your
Okay.
in your sub account, at the end of the day, in your sub account, let me share my screen with you. I could be wrong. There should be no reason why you can't do this. But in your sub account, you just need to come, to the private integrations, and that's
Yeah.
it. You just
Okay.
like whatever your vibe code in, like when it asks you, it's gonna ask you for your API key and the sub account location ID
Okay. Thank
and
you.
your
I
user
didn't know
ID.
that we can build apps and integrate it with GHL like this.
Oh yeah, of course. So like going back to the marketplace thing, I mean kind of
Yeah.
that's not that entirely, but that goes along with that, right? So like I don't want to assume like if you go into your sub account or you've seen other sub accounts, they're like many different I don't know why this is not showing the apps or anything like that, but there's like many different apps that you can use or install, or if you can create other go high level
Okay.
accounts can install and do it and stuff like that, or like let's just say for example you were using N8N. Like you could do the same thing. You would go grab your process, make an automatic workflow. The main thing I'm focusing on here is, like I said, if you didn't have Go High Level, if you didn't pay for any account that has social media integrations, you have to go do the social media integration part yourself, which basically means going to make an app that basically says, hey, this is my website or application. And when people want to sign in or connect to this, it does all this technical stuff in the background. Because Go
Oh,
High Level already has social media integrations, let's just say you have an idea that you're like, hey, I'm a marketing agency and like I help my clients just post social media automatically. If you already use Go High Level, that's an easier process. The reason why I was so specific with building a front end and showing my client's example, you know, he's building an entirely separate application for real estate. And his real estate clients, asked him, can we post to social media? Now, I am leaving a little context out. He is in a transition of maybe fully moving away from high level, but it really has nothing to do with vibe code. And that was something he's just going to
okay.
do in general. Yeah, to be really specific, because some people might think that he's doing that because we're vibe coding. None of that. Like, he doesn't want to build another CRM. I'm not advising him to build another CRM. Like, he uses Go High Level. But in terms of, to be more specific, like in his Go High Level account, he could turn off all the social media stuff here, meaning that when
Oh,
they do log in here, they don't see any of that. They're just going to see it when they're in this application.
okay, I got your point. Thank you.
Hmm. Nobody has any more questions? All right, guys. I appreciate you for showing up as usual. Tomorrow, of course, I have another workshop about using a platform called Obsidian, which is really, really great. If you haven't heard of Obsidian, it's used as a second brain for AI, basically. Can use it to do a plethora of things. I'll go over some ways of how I'm incorporating it myself to use it and stuff like that. But I do think it's very great. It's very good. And of course, this is a free platform. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys for coming, and hopefully I'll see you guys
Thank you, and
tomorrow. If
see you
not,
tomorrow.
yeah, this will be recorded. I do have a couple of I do need to put the last two videos up on YouTube. I'll do that all today when this one is uploaded.
Can you share your YouTube channel in the
Oh
chat?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Let me get it right now. There you go. I just put it in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.